Hey everyone, welcome to May's Lug Life. I'm May, and I'm here with Lug's most recent shipping update that they posted on Facebook yesterday on Thursday, September the 8th. So I think they brought this out at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, if I'm not mistaken. I apologize I didn't post this sooner. I was busy yesterday and today, so I'm only just having a chance to get this to you now. So I'm very sorry that I'm a little bit late, but hopefully this will give you the information that you've been waiting for. So let's get into it. Number one, LugLife and LugLife.com orders up to August the 28th will be shipped by the end of day today, September the 8th, which, by the way, is now yesterday. Number two, LugLive orders for the week of August the 29th through to September the 4th are being processed and are anticipated to be shipped by midweek next week. And number three, tracking is being sent via email. If you are not receiving tracking emails, please contact customer care at luglife.com. So that's an email. Okay, so let's just dive into this here. So first of all, I'm just going to acknowledge the fact that they changed the title of it. It used to say, we're moving, as if it's like an announcement, and it's like it's great news and yay. You know what? It wasn't great news. We all know that they were moving. We always knew they were moving. Once they told us, finally, I guess that was a bit late. They didn't tell us they were moving until way late. But we always knew, and just the mere fact that they were moving was not explaining the problems that they were having, and it didn't actually reflect the information that was being given. So the "we're moving" meant nothing when they were giving me dates as to when things are being shipped. So the title didn't match the message. So now it matches the message. So the feeling I always had was it was almost like Lug was in denial that there were problems when they made these announcements. It's like, they were trying to distract me by saying, hey, the reason why we're having problems is because we're moving. One, we're moving. I know that there's a transition period, but moving indicates physical moving of stuff from point A to point B. And they had already done that. They had already made the move. They may have been in move in move status, in some way or another, I guess, all the way up until the end of August. So that's technically they were moving the whole time. But when 99% of your operations has kind of moved into a place and was functional and was up and running, to say we're moving was not completely accurate. So this is a much more accurate title. So I actually appreciate this. It doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but it is to me. It's like I said, it's more honest. This is what it is. It is an order status. So we're telling you what is going on with all the orders, not a, hey, we're moving, yay for us. Or I'm sorry, we're not getting your stuff to you on time because we're moving. When in reality, that was not the only problem. It could not have been the only problem for things to have been such a fiasco. Just the mere act of moving was not the reason why things have been as bad as they were. So, and then the other thing, just because I'm just going to end on a happy note here, really cute flowers. I think these are the flowers from the Whimsy line of stuff. Love it. So I always notice prints. I always notice the graphic designers who do this. They always do a beautiful job. The graphic designers at Lug are top notch. Their website's always impeccable. Their advertising is perfect. Everything they do is amazing. So hats off to the graphic designers and the design team and all the guys who are responsible for doing all of these kinds of things. They do an amazing job and they always look beautiful. And that's, by the way, something I really love about Lug. They don't just throw up a little, like a little memo. They always make the memo look beautiful. And to me, that means something. And I'm sure all of us know that because that's why we love their bags. So they always are paying attention to little details and making things friendlier and smoother and nicer. And this is one of them. This is a perfect example of Lug making something that would otherwise be kind of boring and stupid much prettier and much nicer and a little bit nicer to read. So, all right. So now let's talk about the actual content. So first of all, number one there, LugLive and LugLife.com orders up until the 28th are going to be shipped. So that's that's like the very last days of August. So we're now talking about orders as late as just last week, being shipped out as early, well, hopefully everything will have shipped out yesterday. So that's a massive, massive gap reduction. So it used to be, anything that was, say, shipped from, up to whatever, August the 1st, which is a long time ago, is going to be shipped at the end of next week or the end of this week. So you know what? This is good. The gap is, instead of being quite so big, it's now sort of starting to close. And then number two, Lug Live orders between August 29th and September the 4th. That is last week. So that's last week's Lug Live set of shows. So it's like one set of specials. That's just last week. And those are supposedly going to get shipped, so they say, are anticipated to be shipped mid next week. That's amazing. We're not quite back to what Lug was doing prior to the craziness, but it is pretty close now. Like before all the stuff started happening, if I got my Lug Live order a week and a half later, like after the very last day, so like after that last day that you could order on that Sunday, if I got it a week and a half later, I'd be like, oh, what happened to my order? But I wasn't concerned, and I wouldn't have freaked out, and I would just been like, oh, somewhere got delayed, and I would have been just a little surprised by it. Because usually what would happen traditionally or before, you would order, let's say you ordered the very last day of the sale, and that was the Sunday. Lug would pack the orders, ship the orders on the Monday or Tuesday, like right after. And then I would get my stuff sometimes as early as Wednesday. There were times I'm like, oh, so they shipped it on Monday. Holy cow, I can't believe it's here. It's Wednesday afternoon, and I'm already being told that I've got a parcel downstairs. Usually would get here around Thursday. And occasionally it would also come Friday or the following Monday. So this is huge. So you know what? The turnaround time is getting closer and closer from date of order to date of ship. Well, I guess we'll see if the actual delivery time changes, because I believe that seems to be changing for people as well. So even though like a label is made and it's supposedly, quote, shipped from Lug, sometimes it gets either lost or it gets delayed somewhere along the way. So it'll be interesting to see if that changes as well. But either way, the gap is closing. So the gap, like I said, from the date of order to the date of ship seems so far, according to this particular update, like it's really narrowing, and it's narrowed by a significant amount from the last update. So like I said, we're even seeing the word September. I didn't think we'd see the word September show up for another couple of weeks. So anyways, that's great. I mean, bottom line, it's great. And I'm happy that things are finally maybe starting to move again, and that maybe, like I said, that gap is closing. So that gap is getting narrower and narrower and narrower to the point that finally, maybe sooner than later, we'll go back to the way it was, and everyone will be happy, and we can all return to just loving our lugs again and just being really excited to get our parcels, in a decent amount of time. So that being said, I just because I am one of these people who wants to know, because and the reason why I want to know is because I want to know if this is going to happen again. So what I want to know is why suddenly, okay, maybe suddenly is not the right word, but why, is this gap closing? What has happened recently that is allowing for Lug to close this gap from just what 4 days ago, I think was the last release, update, the last shipping update, and that gap was about the same as it's been. It was a little bit narrower than it's been. So let's say, for example, even that first one there, it says, whatever, orders up to August 28th would be shipped by the end of today. That's like a week, like what, 10 days, not even, like a few days later. So hang on, 29th, 30th, 31st, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So that's still about 2 weeks. But it's narrower. It is definitely narrower than it was. When it used to be like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that's actually really, really good. So I guess for me is, and especially that second one where like the Lug Live orders just from last week are already being processed, and they're hoping to have them shipped by like Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. What happened? So I'm assuming that obviously many different things could have happened, or many things happened, or somewhere a combination of all these things happened. So obviously the move, always a big pain in the butt. Two, they were understaffed. They did not have enough people to do all the jobs they need to get done. Three, the people that they did bring, that they hired, were brand new to the company, didn't know the inventory, didn't know the system, didn't know anything. So the learning curve was huge. The few people that did come over from the old warehouse also had to learn a brand new system and had to work with brand new people, the team they were unfamiliar with and not necessarily, completely in sync with yet. And I know that there were inventory issues and supply chain issues and all that. So like as Amy said in her video, a perfect storm of things that came in that caused this to sort of slow down. And I'm sure there were other things as well that I'm not even mentioning, or I'm not able to remember at the moment, that I did have a list of at one point. So all these different things that happened, what was it, or what is it that changed, that is suddenly allowing this gap to narrow? Is it one thing? Is it two things? Are all of the things trying to clear up all at the same time? So was it the perfect storm before of crap, and now is everything sort of working itself out and now fixing? And the reason why I want to know is because I know it's not my business and it's not my problem ultimately. This is Lug's problem, but I want to know, as a customer, does that mean this is a temporary thing, or am I still going to have to be nervous about when I place my order, how long I'm going to have to wait for my stuff to finally arrive? So if I were to today go, I just found this great thing, I want to buy it for my friend's birthday that's in 3 weeks, am I going to be sitting there going, you know what? Things are getting better. It looks like things are getting better. It looks like the turnaround time is now a week and a half, maybe 2, as opposed to 3 or 4. Is it safe for me to go in and buy that gift and hope that it's going to get here on time for her birthday? Or am I just going to back up and say, you know what, this is a temporary thing for now, until I know that every single week for like maybe 3 months, 4 months, that they're finally back on track. Maybe I'll feel more comfortable. But as a consumer, I want to know whether these changes are permanent, whether this is a fluke, whether this is still, unpredictable. Is this something that I can now rely on? Is this timeline narrowing a good like a permanent trend, and that next week is going to get even shorter and shorter and shorter, and I'll finally be able to get my stuff within a week again? Or am I going to order something today, and then this week, everything's delivering well today, but then in a week and a half, everything comes to a crashing halt, and I'm not going to get the gift for my friend for another 2 weeks after her birthday. So as a consumer, I want to know. So that's why I want to know what's happening behind the scenes, so that I can sort of make my best guess as to whether this is something I can trust. The other thing is, I'm a lug nut. I care about this company. I actually do want good things to happen. I don't want bad things to happen to this company. I don't want, all the crappy things to happen. I don't want them to happen to the company. I don't want them to happen so that the owners don't sit there and go, oh my God, I can't believe this is what's going on. And I also want my fellow lug nuts to be able to comfortably and confidently go in, make their purchases, be really happy and excited about their stuff, and get them while they're still happy and excited. I don't want people to get angry and upset and frustrated because their products didn't come in, or, they got the wrong color, or they're missing items like that. I don't want to keep seeing that. As a lug nut, as someone who, cares about the people in the community, I don't want to keep seeing these things pop up. So that's why I want to know. I want to know because I want to know how long this is going to go on for. Is this fixable? Is this a permanent thing? That's all. So that's just me. And also just because I just like these kinds of details. I'm just kind of one of these people who likes to sort of, know how things work. So anyways, so that's just me personally, but I think it's important for all of us to maybe know some of these things so that we can feel comfortable and confident placing our orders going forward. So once again, the next few things you're going to see is just me plotting all the different updates on calendars so you can see what's going on. And of course, the very last slide is going to reflect this particular update that you see here. I did take away some of the other ones at the beginning, but if you really want to see them really plotted all the way, you can always go back to my previous videos, my previous shipping update videos from like a couple of weeks ago. And that's it. That is the most recent lug shipping update that they posted on Facebook. Still not sure why they're only still posting this on Facebook. I don't know why this is not coming out as emails to the entire lug community and to all their customers. But here we are. So that is still an interesting thing that they haven't changed. Don't know if they're ever going to change that. That's my cat sneezing, if you're wondering what that sound is. But anyway, we'll see what happens. So this is a good change overall. This is, I think, probably the best gap, I think, between dates. So I'm really hoping this is a positive trend. I'm really getting tired of having to put these updates up and seeing upset people and having to be the bearer of bad news. I'm kind of getting to be a little bit more optimistic, but we'll see. I guess it'll have to be a permanent trend. This is the first update where things are just a little bit more narrow than they were. So if we keep getting these updates and it keeps narrowing or it stays small, the gap between order date and ship date, that's a good thing. So I guess I'll have to be, I'm not going to start, jumping up and down until I think things get back to what they were. But you know what? I will always commend things, acknowledge things when things are better. So I don't always want to just be a negative, whatever, or the only, I only want to, talk about the bad things. I do want to at least acknowledge that this is a better trend. So fingers crossed that this is going to be the way it's going to be from now on, that things are actually starting to get better, that whatever their problems were have been working themselves out and working through them, and that now, all the kinks are starting to smooth out. And hopefully, like, in my last video, I had said, I'm hoping that everything should be completely back to normal after the new year. I would be thrilled if it actually happened before that. I would love it if Lug actually got their stuff together in the next few weeks so that, we can really actually start planning for Christmas, because Christmas is coming. And the last thing that any retailer wants to have is crazy backlog at Christmas time and crazy shipping problems and inventory problems at Christmas time. So, I mean, I think if that happens, if they really run into the same kind of problems, or they go back to the same kind of problems they had 2 or 3 weeks ago, Lug could really shoot themselves in the foot. It won't be the end of them, because I think they're too strong of a company, and I think the people running it are too good. They will find a way, and they seem to have luck on their side all the time. They always seem to land on their feet, but it'll be an even bigger blow to Lug's overall health as a company if all hits the fan again around end of October into November. I think that would be critical for them if something happens then. So fingers crossed for everybody. I am actually hoping for this to be the best way that things go, or the way that things go from now on for everybody. Everybody obviously will be happy, and and everyone will get what they want, but it's just, I kind of want to see everything kind of go back to the way it was, where people were just talking about their bags and being happy and not complaining about shipping and inventory problems and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm not even one of these people who's like all Mr., little Miss Positive or anything like that. It's just exhausting. That's all. So, there we go. I hope that was helpful. Is anybody still waiting on orders from before? I'm not getting that in the comments anymore. So I'm assuming that means most people have had all their orders from July. Obviously, as far as back in June and July, I think everyone's gotten those ones finally. I think early August stuff is also mostly out. So let me know if you are one of the few people who are still waiting on stuff from way back in July, or if you're still having issues trying to get a hold of customer service because of something that happened a long time ago. I'm curious, and I would love to know if people are having better luck getting a hold of people at customer service. So I'm hoping so. I really am. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Good luck with your orders, and I'll see you next time.